Hello guys, it's Cardboard Rhino and welcome to this Rhino preview. Today I have here with me the new sci-fi game by Galakta that is launching on Kickstarter. It's Shadow Planet. Shadow Planet is a retro sci-fi game of alien horror based on an Italian graphic novel, and the game is full of mystery and secrets. There is hidden identities and roles, there is exploration, together with a deck building mechanic done in a completely new way that I haven't seen in another game. You have to try to figure out who's with you and who's against you, and with every game you dig a little bit deeper into the strategy of each role. But let me first introduce you to the story. You are on a hostile planet. You have set out to go on a scientific mission, but lots of things went wrong, including a terrifying, threatening monster. Someone killed Mark, the pilot, and severely damaged your shuttle commands. You need to get out of there and somehow repair your shuttle, as your only hope is to return to your spaceship, which is waiting in the orbit. But you have only 12 hours until your spaceship leaves. At the beginning of the game, each player gets a secret goal and identity. You might be one of the astronauts. In a 4-player game, you have 2 or 3 of them. You might be the alien that wants to repair the shuttle and reach the spaceship, but then overwhelm the astronauts. Or you might be the terrifying monster guardian who wants to keep all of them in the planet. Your goal remains secrets for the other players until the end of the game, but there's 6 different characters any player can use. Those characters are the heroes in the game, and each turn you take their card decks or their gear to perform actions and move around on the board. So any of the players can use these characters and manipulate and modify any of the character decks, which is the heart of the strategy. Every time you use a character on your turn, you get the corresponding character marker. At the end of the game, you will reveal your secret identity and you will get matched with one of the characters whose markers you have the fewest of. You'll then take the deck of cards of your matching character, and based on the power of the symbols on your character's deck, when compared to one of the 3 indicators on the board, you'll find the winner. But we'll get to that and how it's done after we explain a bit the flow of the game. So at the beginning of the round, we have a drafting phase or a control phase where each player chooses one character to control for the round. They take their gear and one of their markers to place on their sheets. Then we move on to the operations phase where each character is resolved by a set initiative order. When your character is activated, you first resolve their special ability. Then you may play movement cards and move to locations or sections. Then you may search using these cards and reorder cards in the deck of your location. The next step is mandatory, and you have to get 1 or more cards from your location to your hand, so you're basically adding cards to that character's deck. Each location's deck shows what kind of cards are more rare and more frequent in the deck. Next, you can use the repair cards and then the attack cards to resolve the text that's on them. At the end of the operations phase, players may apply the effects of the sections they are in if they can pay the cost of the required cards. After all players were activated, then the last phase of a round is called Messages from the Shadows. Each player secretly chooses one of the cards they played during their turn and places it face down here. This gets mixed with this pile of cards, and then 6 of them are revealed. The symbols on these 6 cards will affect the changes on the indicators, which will eventually determine the end of the game and the winner. And this takes us to the 3 rotating indicators. They are attached to the board and each represents one aspect of the game. When any of the indicators reaches a critical number, then the end of the game is triggered. The threat indicator shows how powerful the alien is. In the messages phase, you compare the number of these cards against these, and you either advance the indicator or you move it back. The higher the number on the indicator, the harder it will be to defeat the alien in space when it leaves with the astronauts. But if it reaches the maximum, the monster will slaughter everyone, which gives the victory to the Guardian. The repair indicator represents the state of the shuttle damage. In the messages phase, you compare these 2 symbols on the cards and move the indicator either back or forward. When it reaches 0, the craft is working again and it immediately leaves for the spaceship, taking on its deck everyone but the Guardian, who loses. And finally, the countdown indicator shows how much time is left until the moment when the spaceship the only hope for the astronauts, departs, leaving everyone behind. You always move this one step forward at the end of the messages, and you move it once more either back or forward, comparing the number of these two symbols on the messages phase. If the astronauts haven't managed to fully repair the shuttle when the countdown reaches 0, then everyone stays on the planet and, well, the Guardian wins. So the messages from the shadows phase is important as it allows you to remove a certain card from a certain deck permanently to help you with your objective, and it can advance the game towards your goal through the movement of the indicators. It is also a very good moment to apply your people reading skills and analyze the cards put by other players, so to guess who is who and form your strategy regarding which deck you need to modify and in what direction. Overall, in Shadow Planet, there is an interesting blend of mechanics and a pure sci-fi horror atmosphere supported by some really beautiful art. It's for players who enjoy depth of strategy and replayability and who are not scared by the initial complexity until you learn the game really well, and for players who enjoy some bluffing, double-crossing, plot twists, and some scheming. So that was Shadow Planet. If you'd like to know more about the game, I'll have the link of the Kickstarter campaign page in the description below so you can check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.